Let's get to round one, though, and let's start with the spot where the draft began.
Yeah.
We knew Trevor Lawrence was going to the Jaguars. We knew Zach Wilson was going to the Jets. No mystery there. Everyone was 2 for 2 in their mock drafts. Yes, and then for many it went off the rails because most had Mac Jones. Some idiots had Justin Fields, or should I just say idiot, ours. But it became that guy whose name had been percolating and gurgling and emerging in recent days, North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance. Let's hear from your buddy Kyle Shanahan. Explain yourself, Kyle, on why you went with a guy who only played one game last year.
When we made the trade, we knew exactly where we were going, what we were doing. Now we want an opportunity to go and look at everybody. We've been very high on Trey since the beginning, since day one. And yes, the person everyone else is speculating about, we liked him too. But it was just, honestly, to go through this whole process where, no one has known, my friends, coaches, anybody, how John and I feel and how we felt this whole time.
Let me just say this. I don't believe it, first of all. And second of all, this was all one big unforced error by the 49ers. And the best contrast, this occurred to me yesterday, Chris, the Falcons. Because the Falcons never got into any type of a public wishy-washy, giving credence to the idea that they can go in a bunch of different directions, building a mystery so people pay attention to them. And it never felt like the Falcons weren't quite sure what they were going to do. It felt for so long like the 49ers made this big move, and they're not quite sure what they're going to do. And didn't we predict earlier in the week this is exactly what they'd say? Oh, that was our guy all along.
Yeah.
All that other stuff. No, this was our guy all along.
No, you said it. You said it from the start. You're right. I don't know. I don't believe that either. I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I don't believe it was Trey Lance from the start. I mean, I'm as shocked as anybody. I hope maybe this gets everybody off my back to think every word I say or
Stay
what
on
I
his
know.
back.
I know.
Stay
They
on
think
his
I
back.
know everything about Shanahan. I don't.
Oh,
Yeah.
they definitely won't think that now.
No, they won't. That's over. I mean, we have conversations, certainly, definitely. I was shocked, though. No, I thought we were going to see Mac Jones at number 3. And my friend who I know has, great admiration for a guy like Matt Ryan and especially Drew Brees, that's always the guys he talks about. I thought for sure that's where he would go in this, and even to open the door a little bit more, yeah, we had some conversations right after the college season, and I thought that's where maybe I got my lean on Mac Jones too. All right, so that's where I thought for sure, knowing him, what he likes at quarterback, everything like that, it'll be Mac Jones. So when that pick happened last night, I was not a part of any grand conspiracy. I was like, oh my gosh, he went with Trey Lance. I cannot believe it. I mean, I was in shock. I really was. And do I agree with it? No, I don't. I don't think Trey Lance was worth the number 3 pick of the draft. But it doesn't matter what I think. Shanahan obviously has the confidence in his ability. And, at the very least, I'm excited to see what he can do with a guy like Trey Lance. I am. I mean, again, we saw what he did with RG3 and that type of skill set. Trey Lance is raw as a thrower, as a passer. There's a lot of room to grow. It's iffy. It's risky. It's not 100% that he will grow and become what we think. That's why I didn't make him a top 3 quarterback in my draft listing. But, the athleticism is real, and that's where he's going to bring a different element to the Shanahan offense, and I think that's probably a big reason of why Kyle decided to go with this Trey Lance route at pick number 3.
In an interview on ESPN, Kyle Shanahan referred to Trey Lance as a very good backup and said it's going to be very hard for a rookie to come in and beat Jimmy Garoppolo out. He's a very good player.
Right.
That's why I like the situation we're in, blah, blah, blah. Look, more BS. It's BS. It's BS. You can't do it. You had a guy who played one game last year. You're going to sit him on the bench for another year?
Exactly.
You gave up 3 first-round picks and a third-round pick for a guy that you're going to put on ice for a full year? Bull. You know what to that. They're trying to build trade value for Jimmy Garoppolo. Plain and simple, that's what's going on. And here's the other side of it, too. Remember, because they played this game of who are we going to take? What are we going to do? We showed up for the Ferrari. We like the Porsche. We like the Aston Martin. Who knows what we're going to do? Tune into the draft to find out. Well, they could have had Mac Jones at 12 the way the board fell, and I know that if they were sitting there at 12, maybe it would have gone differently. Maybe they wouldn't have gotten Mac Jones. Maybe the Patriots would have jumped them. Who knows? But they could have had Mac Jones without giving up 2 extra first-round picks and a third-round pick based on the way things fell. That puts even more pressure on them to get the most out of Trey Lance. And putting him on the bench for a year is not going to be a good idea. So we understand that there is strategic lying that happens from coaches and GMs. You have to understand that. And now, job number one for the 49ers, given that they have Trey Lance in the building, is to get the most they can for Jimmy Garoppolo and trade him at the right time. And look, every team that drafted a quarterback last night, except for the top 2, the ones where it was who knows what they're going to do and who have other quarterbacks on the roster, what did they all say? It was the Bears, Andy Dalton's our starter. The Patriots, Cam Newton's our starter. So I'm a firm believer that part of the development of the quarterback is letting him build confidence internally by beating out the starter. So for Trey Lance, job number one is go beat out Jimmy Garoppolo. It's not going to be easy, Trey. You're going to have to work hard, Trey. You're going to have to show up early, Trey. You're going to have to study I think this is all the carrot that gets dangled in front of this guy so he becomes what they hoped he would be when they gave up all that stuff to get him.
I agree with you there. I do. I mean, listen, I'm with you in your thought. Like, you don't trade up to number 3 to put a guy on the bench for a year. That's definitely not what you do. And, Mike, I think your point there, that's the most real point and a part of the risk, again, of Trey Lance and why I wouldn't have taken him at number 3. You said it. It's a guy with really low reps of throwing the football as is anyways. I mean, there's a stat, right? That it's like the least there we go. 300 fewest college pass attempts in the last 40 years. So you have that, right? We know for a first-round quarterback. So there's so little we know about the guy still to this point. And then you bring up the point, Mike, about, sitting him for a year. That's to me one of the problems with Lance there. You can't sit him for a year. He's already just sat a year. He's got to play quarterback in football at some point. So you can't do that. He's going to have to play. To me, you're risking a lot by sitting him on the bench and going, hey, guy that hasn't played a lot of football, here's another year of, hey, not playing a lot of football. That would make no sense to me at all. So I would think, again, and not that I know this, so hope everybody can get off my back with this crap, that, yes, Shanahan's going to say this for now. We're going to see if Trey Lance can come into OTAs and rookie minicamp and just look the part, get the offense, as long as he doesn't crap down his leg or crap the bed, right, Mike? I think or both, right? Then I think that's when you'll start to hear, Trey Lance will be our starter, and you're going to start to hear the Jimmy Garoppolo trade rumors.
Yeah, I think you're right. And again, you've got to build confidence. I remember when Ryan Tannehill was the 8th overall pick 9 years ago, and the Dolphins put him at 3 on the depth chart.
Yeah,
and
right.
I knew then this is all about helping Ryan Tannehill acquire the confidence necessary to go play in a game on Sunday, because he believes, and maybe the others need to see as well, that he's capable of knocking off the guy who's at number 2.
That's right.
And the guy who's at number 1. And assuming that Jimmy Garoppolo's even on the team when training camp opens, I'm still not ready to sign off on that. But if he is, this is for the benefit of Trey Lance and for the locker room to see why they believed so fervently in Trey Lance, to make that move, to get Trey Lance, to give up 3 first-round picks ultimately and a third-round pick for one player, and it's a player who is as unproven as any first-round quarterback really has been in decades. He's well-suited, though, to the Bob Greasy version of the Kyle Shanahan postseason offense, where you only throw 8 times.
Oh,
if he's only thrown 318 times, right?
Yes.
Just hand it off, hand it off, hand it off.
That's where I think it's interesting, and to me, that's where I think Shanahan probably aired on Trey Lance because of what you're talking about. First off, Shanahan's baby is his run game. That's where he separates himself from the rest of offensive coordinators and offensive game planners altogether. It's a special run game. It's really creative. People always steal his stuff, do those things. You're seeing other offensive coordinators from his scheme start to, end up around the league more and more here. now this is going to give the offense a totally different look. That it's not going to be like, hey, wait, we played Green Bay and the Jets already. Oh, we have a good feel for this offense and what they do. You know, we played Minnesota with Kubiak, some of their run stuff. Now he's going to have an element that, you know, nobody really is ready for. And you're going to see, I think, a Kyle Shanahan, Lamar Jackson-ish type of offense. That's what you're going to see here going forward. I think that's what to expect. And, you know, that's another thing. Listen, I like Trey Lance. There's a lot of top-end talent. Another question I, though, have a little bit here is I don't know how good his running is. That would be the other thing I would go, this is not Lamar Jackson. Like, it's not that. Lamar Jackson was 4 rockets up his butt. Didn't matter who they were playing. You were like, whoa, this is the fastest guy on the field. This guy's really athletic. He's got quick feet and all of that. But I don't know how athletic and explosive. It's hard to tell, too. He's playing against a bunch of 1AA players who run 4.7 and 4.8. So that's the other thing, too. I just don't know how great he can be in that aspect to me, which also adds to the risk. But I think that's what Shanahan's thinking, and it will be a bastard, for lack of a better phrase, to stop his run game when he has a quarterback that we see can do that RG3 type stuff.
There is another element to what the 49ers did yesterday, and more accurately, what they did or tried to do on Wednesday night that we'll discuss next segment. But it makes it even more important that Lance becomes the guy that they expected him to be when they made that move up, if he was the initial choice, and if it was a process of confirmation, not elimination, to settle on the North Dakota State quarterback. But I'm bugged by what happened Wednesday night and also what was said about it last night by John Lynch.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.